This is BECCA Salamone. I'm out at Oak Mountain State Park for a parks rally. I'm standing here with Lein, Alabama State Parks Director, and he's going to tell us what he came out here for and to gather people together to rally for the parks. Greg?
Well, we're here today to help with the coalition that's formed this year. There's so many partners and user groups that rely on the park system. They enjoy the trails, they enjoy the picnic areas, they enjoy the overnight accommodations, and they're all concerned about the well-being of the state park system. And in support of this coalition, we wanted to be here today officially representing the park system and explaining what's going on in the legislature and what the possibility of these transfers from our funds means to the park system, and in turn the customers, the people that love and rely on the parks and the state's economy for that matter. And you know, there is a very real possibility that transfers this year on top of the transfers that we've experienced over the last 4 years could collapse the financing of the state park system. And if that happens, it means the closure of all 22 state parks. And that's our concern. We're asking everyone that loves the park system to contact their legislator, especially in the Senate, because the Senate will be receiving the House budget this next week. They'll be making modifications. And the message is to please level fund the state park system and stop transferring money from the Conservation Department.
That's a great message to give. Now, I understand that it's been happening over 4 or 5 years. They've been taking money out, and people hear that over and over and over, and maybe they just kind of ignore it. But this is kind of an emergency situation, isn't it? They really could close.
It really is. We've seen the transfer of $27 million from the Conservation Department's programs and funds over the last 4 years. And the proposals to do these transfers a 5th year, they've ranged from $3 million to $18 million. And you know, at the level of $18 million, it would not only devastate and collapse the financing for the park system, but it would then take money from the Game and Fish Fund and the Marine Resources Fund and the State Lands Fund and begin to diminish those programs. So you have the great likelihood of seeing the hunting seasons shortened, the fishing seasons shortened, hunting and fishing programs canceled, the wildlife management area system closed. And again, all this goes back to what level of transfer they finally settle on. And again, our fear is the patterns are not going in the other direction. Year after year after year, there are these transfers, and we've seen them 4 years in a row. So as they propose to do this year, we believe it. It's very real, and you know, these previous transfers have diminished our reserve funds. We are now, especially in the park system, we're living a hand-to-mouth existence, and that's why we're trying to explain that these transfers have the real possibility of overdrawing the cash balance in our funds and collapsing the system.
Okay, and you know we have horse trail riders that ride at state parks all over the state. What message do you want to get out to them?
Please, if you love the park system and all the things about the park system, contact your legislators on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday and express to them the need to level fund the Conservation Department and the state park system and stop transferring money from those accounts.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing today with Alabama Horse Talk. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is BECCA Salamone, the voice of Alabama Horse Talk Radio, coming to you on location in Columbiana, Alabama, at the Outback Trail Riders meeting. And I have run into Bobby Whaley, the past president and now a vice president of the group, and he's going to share some important information for trail riders and horse people in the horse community. Bobby?
Well, they had a rally today to try to tell people to call in congressmen and about closing the parks. We spent, the Outback Trail Riders and the backcountry horsemen have spent many hours working over there on the trails for the park, and that's all volunteer work. We've cleaned up the trail, we've marked them, we have put signs up, given directions how to go, named the trails, and spend a lot of hours, and the parks are used by lots and lots of families. We don't, is any way possible to keep the parks open for the community? We really need to do this. We ride in several parks. Our passionate horses, and we ride horses at Oak Mountain, Wind Creek, Paul Gris, and they were talking about putting trails in at Roland Cooper State Park. And the thing about it is that these parks are well used by family people, not just individuals. It's a recreation for everybody.
And so what do horse riders need to do this coming week to get the message across to the legislature?
They need to call the legislator and on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this coming week and tell them how they feel about closing state parks.
So I was understanding today at the state park rally that they need to ask for level funding. Is that what it's called?
All right, level funding is for something funding for all the state parks, not just one park or two parks or three parks. But there's 22 state parks in the state of Alabama.
And is it, we've been talking about this for years that they could possibly close. Do you feel like this is, really true now?
I think they're not bluffing. I think this is something that's really serious. I think that they're trying to take the money that the park has and been using for maintenance and trying to take that money out from the Park Service so they can put it in a general fund for the state to pay whatever they pay out of that, which don't need to be. There should be some kind of money set aside, earmarked for the state park, for the people of Alabama.
Okay, thank you, Bobby, for sharing with us. And is there a place where people can go to find more information about Outback Trail Riders?
They look up www.outbacktrailriders.com.
Awesome. All right, well, thanks for sharing with Alabama Horse Talk.
Thank you.